Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Shanim Kashyapam Neelavarna Priyamtam Krisham Neelabanam Dharandam Chashuram Mrigesham Suram Shraddha Devagrajam Tam Sumandam Sahasram Suputram Namami. The capital of Emperor Vikramaditya was Ujjain, a great ruler who looked after his subjects like his own children. He had 9 extraordinary scholars in his court. They were called Navaratnas. Kalidasa, Acharya Dhanvantari, Jyotishacharya Varaha Mihira, they were all among them. One day they started a debate. Which planet was the greatest? The first scholar said, Surya is the greatest among planets. He is the king of planets. He is the brightest among planets, giver of life to all beings, and without Surya there is no life. He removes pain, poverty and ill health of those who pray to him. What more? He is Surya Narayana, Narayana himself. So, he is the greatest. Then the second scholar said, Chandra is also a royal planet. Just as Surya is the king of the day, Chandra is the king of the night. He is the nourisher and protector of all plants and trees. He only provides food to everyone. He doesn't harm anyone. Very calm and cool planet. Lord Shiva has kept him on his forehead to keep his cool. Lord Shiva is famous for his short temper. Chandra only keeps him cool. So, Chandra is the greatest. The third scholar said, Mangala is a very powerful planet. He is also very cruel. He can bless and destroy in the same way. If you worship him, he will give everything. If he is angry, he will destroy everything. And even the children and grandchildren will suffer because of this. So, Mangala is the greatest. The fourth one said, Buddha should be the greatest. He gives wealth, makes you wealthy. He never harms anyone. He only gives happiness and removes sorrows. He is also well known for his wisdom. He also makes you wise. The fifth scholar argued that Guru, Brhaspati, was the greatest among planets. He is Deva Guru, respected even by the likes of Indra and Shiva. He advises even the Devas. He removes troubles of even the Devas. Even if you do not worship any other Graha, just worship Brhaspati. It is as good as worshipping all the Navagrahas. He is the greatest as he alone can remove all the miseries of his devotees. Shukra is the bestower of all worldly comforts, all pleasures, wealth and happiness, said the sixth scholar. Being the Asura Guru, he is also very powerful, and all the worlds are under his command. He is the greatest. Then there were 2 scholars who said, Rahu and Ketu are feared even by Surya and Chandra. They can overpower Surya and Chandra and can cause eclipses. Very cruel in nature. They deserve to be worshipped, or there will be trouble throughout life. Being more powerful than Surya and Chandra, they should be the greatest. Vikramaditya asked, Is there any planet left out now? Then the 9 scholars said, Shani Bhagavan is the greatest among planets. He is the most powerful among planets. He causes lot of pain and miseries, but he is also the greatest among those who give blessings. If Shani Bhagavan blesses, then there will not be any more trouble or obstacle in life. But he also gets angry very fast. And if he gets angry, he will instantly destroy everything. He is indefeatable. Be it Devas or Asuras, one look by Shani Bhagavan, they are all destroyed. This is very important. Whenever you are in a Shani temple, never ever stand face to face with the idol. Shani Bhagavan's look can simply turn one into ashes. He is so kind, his gaze is always downwards. Still, don't take the risk. Pray to him standing by the side, never straight in front of him. You should never allow Shani Bhagavan's gaze to fall upon you. These are certain facts we should know about the divinity. Agni, we worship Agni. Surya is Agni. Surya causes water in the sea to evaporate and become clouds. Thus we get rains. Rain gives us food. We cook with Agni. Agni gives us light as lamp. Electricity is Agni. Still, if you don't handle Agni properly, it is disastrous. In fact, no deity you should stand face to face, even if as benevolent as Krishna or Lakshmi. You should not worship standing face to face. We don't really need so much blessing as a full gaze, full straight gaze can give. The term used is kataksha, a glance from the corner of their eyes. That is enough for all that we need. We can't take more than that. How much do you need? A few kilograms of gold, maybe 10 kilograms, 100 kilograms. Suppose tomorrow morning you wake up and find 3 truckloads of gold in front of your house meant for you. Are you in trouble or not? We don't need that much. Only a kataksha, a glance from the corner of the eyes, is enough to change lives. So, in the case of Shani Bhagavan, never ever go in front of him to worship him. Always do it from the side. Surya is Shani Bhagavan's father. Surya's wife is Sapnya. Sapnya was the daughter of Vishwakarma. Sapnya had 3 children from Surya, Manu, Yama and Yami. Sapnya found Surya's heat unbearable. She wanted to leave Surya. But Surya should not come to know that she was leaving. So, Sapnya created a replica of herself called Chaya. Chaya literally means shadow. And then she left to observe tapas in the forest. Surya could not make out that it was not Sapnya but her replica that was with him. Chaya also gave birth to 3 children of Surya: Shani Bhagavan, another Manu and Tapati. Once, Chaya cursed Yama, her stepson. Then Surya became doubtful. How can a mother curse her own son? Then he realized that it was Chaya, the replica of Sapnya, who was all this while with him. Then Sapnya was brought back. Sapnya still found it impossible to bear Surya's heat. She went and complained to her father Vishwakarma. Vishwakarma was the engineer. He put Surya's disc under his grinder and started grinding. Even after great effort, he could only take out 1/8 part of Surya. And that 1/8 portion was made into Vishnu's Sudarshana Chakra, Shiva's Trishula, Kubera's Pushpaka Vimana, and Shakti, the spear of Subramanya. So, Shani Bhagavan is son of Surya and Chaya. But he is considered to be Surya's enemy of his own father, even astrologically. When you talk about Surya's relationship with other planets, it is said, Shatru Mandasitau. His enemies are Saturn and Venus. As soon as Shani Bhagavan was born, he just glanced at his father Surya and Surya started losing power. Imagine. Even Vishwakarma with so much of grinding could take away only 1/8 of Surya's power, but only one glance from Shani Bhagavan. Surya developed a skin disease. He started losing his brilliance. His horses became blind. His chariot could not move. They tried all sorts of remedies. Nothing worked. Then Shani Bhagavan looked at him benevolently again and everything became alright. When Vikramaditya heard this, he scornfully laughed and said, "What a bad luck to have a son like this. If he did so much as soon as he was born, what all did he do in the future? Tell me, I am curious to know." Vikramaditya went on mocking and taunting Shani Bhagavan. At the time, Shani Bhagavan was roaming around in his chariot above Ujjain, and he happened to see all this and hear Vikramaditya mocking at him. He descended upon Vikramaditya's court. The scholars immediately told Vikramaditya that it was Shani Bhagavan who has arrived. The king got up and bowed before him. Shani Bhagavan said, "You seem to be very good in sarcasm and mockery. You didn't even spare me. I will teach you a lesson for your arrogance. I am going to come and occupy Kanya Rashi in some time. You are going to see some changes in your life. I will show you who I am and what real bad luck is." The king begged for mercy. Shani Bhagavan brushed him aside and left. Vikramaditya felt a fool of himself. Why did he have to ridicule Shani Bhagavan and incur his wrath? It was not necessary. Vikramaditya became really worried about what was going to happen. When Shani Bhagavan can terrorize the three worlds even otherwise, what is he going to do to me when I have made fun of him? The court was dismissed. Within 1 month, Saturn moved into Kanya Rashi. As per Vikramaditya's horoscope, the 12th house. His Janma Rashi was Tula and Saturn moved into Kanya Rashi. Whenever Saturn transits your Janma Rashi, the Rashi before that and the Rashi after that, it is called 7.5. Saturn stays in one Rashi for 2.5 years. So, Janma Rashi, 12th from it and 2nd from it, 3 Rashis, 3 multiplied by 2.5 makes it 7.5 years. Worst period in one's life. So, Vikramaditya's 7.5 started. Now, it was not because Vikramaditya made fun of Shani Bhagavan that he was going to suffer. His 7.5 was anyway going to start. He himself added to the trouble by incurring Shani Bhagavan's wrath at the beginning of it. The scholars told him to perform some remedies. They told him to make an idol of Shani Bhagavan out of a horseshoe, install it in a mud pot, perform Abhisheka with til oil, chant Shani Mantra 23,000 times and propitiate Brahmins through dana, thinking that they represent Shani Bhagavan. The king thought nothing was going to help him. He told the scholars to go away. This is what happens when bad time comes. You won't even feel like doing what could give you some relief. All sorts of thoughts and logic and rationalism will come up. This is all useless. Who can change fate? All these thoughts come up. Then you end up doing nothing and end up suffering to the fullest possible extent. You should have some real good karma in your account for someone to give you a good advice when the times are bad. You being able to do it and also for that to work for you. It is not easy. So here, Vikramaditya, in spite of being advised by the best of scholars, his own people whom he always trusted, did not or could not do what was told to him as a remedy. There was a horse market that assembled once in a while, where beautiful and powerful horses from all around the world were brought and traded. This was in Ujjain. Once Vikramaditya went there. Shani Bhagavan also came there disguised as a horse trader. The king was impressed with one of the horses that Shani Bhagavan brought. He mounted the horse and started riding it. The horse was really fast. The king went on whipping it to run faster and faster. Then after some time, he wanted to slow it down and whipped it to slow down. Then he realized that the horse was not acting as per his command. It was on its own. It had its own plan. After some time, they had come a long distance, crossed a river, and at nightfall reached a forest. Then the horse stopped. King got down from the horse. He was so tired that he lied down on the ground and fell asleep. In the morning when he woke up, he started walking. After walking a few miles, he reached a place called Tamlinda. In the meantime, at Ujjain, everyone waited for the king and the horse to come back, and the night passed. In the morning, the horse trader demanded a hefty price for his horse. They paid him off, and he went away. Everybody became worried about the safety of the king. In Tamlinda, the king met a very prosperous merchant. The merchant assessed the king by his looks and thought that he must be a noble person. The merchant asked him who he was. The king said he belonged to a royal family and was just passing by. The merchant offered him food and called him over for dinner at his residence. He had another plan in mind. He had a daughter of marriageable age called Alolika and could not find a suitable groom for her. This man could fit the bill. He went and told his daughter that he had identified a husband for her and was going to get her married to him. Alolika said that she would agree only after she sees him and convinces herself. After dinner, Vikramaditya was asked to retire to a room in which there were many paintings. The paintings looked as if they were real. After some time, the king lied down to sleep. Alolika came in. She was wearing attractive dress, makeup and ornaments. The king pretended as if he was asleep. He had high moral values. He should look at her as if she was his own daughter. He didn't know about the merchant's plans. Alolika waited for the king to wake up. She even sprinkled some water on his face to wake him up. He wouldn't wake up. You can wake up a sleeping man, but never someone who is pretending to be asleep. After some time, Alolika also felt tired and went off to sleep in a corner of the room. After removing an expensive pearl necklace from around her neck and hanging it on a hook. At midnight, a swan from one of the paintings came to life. It started swallowing the girl's necklace, which was hanging in the hook. Vikramaditya saw that, but then it was already half swallowed. He thought that if he tried to pull it out, he might harm the bird. So he just left it like that. In the morning, the girl found the necklace missing. She thought that the man must have stolen it. She started screaming. She told her father that the man he identified for her as husband turned out to be a thief. The merchant told Vikramaditya, I thought you were a gentleman and belonged to a decent family. I offered you food and place to rest. I even offered you my daughter's hand in marriage. What have you turned out to be? A petty thief? No, better return the necklace wherever you have hidden it and go back to wherever you came from. This is no place for a thief like you. The king said, I am not lying. I have not stolen the necklace. It is my ill fate that is putting me through all these troubles. Nobody believed him. So the servants of the merchant tied him and bet him up. The king kept on saying that he was not lying and he didn't steal. The merchant thought that this man is a real hardcore and seasoned thief. He approached the king of that place, a king called Chandrasena, and told his grievance. Chandrasena asked Vikramaditya to be produced in the court. Vikramaditya repeated the same. He didn't steal. He is innocent and he was not lying. Even if he had told that it was the swan in the painting who had taken the necklace, who would believe him? Vikramaditya said, the position of planets in my horoscope is weak. That is why all this is happening to me. Shani Bhagavan entered Chandrasena's mind. His judgment became clouded. Chandrasena became furious and ordered that Vikramaditya's hands and feet be cut and he be left in the open to die. Nobody should give him food or water. Accordingly, the soldiers took him out, cut his hands and feet, and left him in the open. Vikramaditya was in unbearable pain. On top of that, nobody dared to give him anything to eat. He kept on weeping day and night, pleading for the mercy of Shani Bhagavan. After some time, Bhagavan felt a bit of sympathy towards him. He influenced Chandrasena's mind again. Chandrasena ordered that the limbless thief can be given food or water. So he started getting food and water. But still the pain was unbearable. 2 months passed. One day, a woman from Ujjain was passing by where limbless Vikramaditya was lying. She was married to an oil maker's family in Tamlinda. She had gone to her parental home and was returning. She instantly recognized the king. She went near him and asked what happened. First the king inquired about the well-being of his people back at Ujjain and then narrated whatever happened to him. He blamed his fate and bad position of planets for all that happened. The woman put the king in a palanquin and asked her servants to take him to her in-laws' place. Her in-laws became worried. How can they help somebody punished by King Chandrasena? The woman told them that the man was in fact King Vikramaditya of Ujjain and how great a king he was. It was a fortune to have him home and be of help to him. Vikramaditya told them not to disclose to anyone who he really was. The oil maker went to King Chandrasena and asked for permission to keep the thief at home and feed him. Chandrasena agreed. Vikramaditya spent 7 years at the oil maker's house, helping him in whichever way he could at his work. Vikramaditya was an accomplished singer. One evening, he started humming in raga Deep. Deep is a raga, if sung properly, lamps would light up on their own. As Vikramaditya went on singing, the lamps started lighting up on their own. The lamps of the whole city lighted up, as if it was a festival. The princess of Tamlinda was Padmasena. She noticed that all the lamps of the city had lighted up suddenly for no reason. There was no marriage, no festival. She noticed that somebody had sung Raga Deep. The singer cannot be an ordinary person. She sent her maids around to find out. Padmasena's maids found out that it was the same thief whose limbs were cut off was singing in Raga Deep. They came back and reported to Padmasena. She wanted to get him to the palace immediately. Even if he was a thief and punished by her father, she was not bothered. She even wanted to marry him. The maids got scared. They couldn't take the risk. Padmasena told them that she would take complete responsibility of everything. So the maids brought Vikramaditya to the palace. Padmasena asked him to continue singing. As he sang, the lamps in the palace also lighted up. Chandrasena saw this. He wanted to know what it was. His servants told him that it is better that he himself goes and finds out. King was sleepy. He didn't go. The 7.5 of Vikramaditya was coming to an end. Vikramaditya was hoping that all his troubles will be over soon. He'll be able to go back to Ujjain once his 7.5 was over. While he was thinking this, Shani Bhagavan appeared before him. Vikramaditya could not stand up. He didn't have legs to stand on. Bhagavan said, "It looks like you still don't recognize my power. Haven't you had enough trouble already?" The king lay on the floor, prostrating before Shani Bhagavan. Bhagavan was pleased. He said, "Ask for any boon." Vikramaditya said, "Please do not cause suffering to mankind. Let anyone else not suffer as I have suffered in the past 7.5 years. Bhagavan gave the hands and legs back to the king and made him as handsome, robust and healthy as before. And told, agree that I gave lot of trouble to you, but this is nothing compared to what I did to Devaguru Brhaspati, who was also my own guru. One day Shani Bhagavan went to Brhaspati, bowed before him and told him that he was going to occupy his 12th house as time has come for his 7.5. Brhaspati said, no, don't even come near me. Shani Bhagavan said, nobody likes me, even you don't like me, you are my guru, still you don't like me. But I am duty bound to do this. Being my guru, I will give you some concession. At least allow me to be with you for 5 years or 2.5 years or at least 7.5 praharas. One prahara is 3 hours. Brhaspati refused to accept even that. Finally, a settlement was arrived at between the two. Shani Bhagavan can affect him for 2.5 hours. Brhaspati thought, I will spend 2.5 hours at the river doing prayers, and what could happen to me during that time? As Brhaspati started walking towards the river, Shani Bhagavan came disguised as a sannyasi. He gave 2 watermelons to Brhaspati. Brhaspati accepted them and gave 2 coins as bhiksha to the sannyasi. In the meantime, the prince and the minister's son had gone hunting. They did not return in time. Everybody got worried. The king sent soldiers to look around for him. Brhaspati was walking towards the river with the melons in his shoulder bag. Shani Bhagavan, through his magical power, turned the watermelons into human heads. The soldiers saw a Brahmin in traditional attire and asked him what was in the shoulder bag. He said, melons. If they are melons, then why are they dripping blood? They opened the shoulder bag and found the severed heads of the prince and the other boy in it. They shackled Brhaspati, bet him up and took him to the king. When the king saw his son's severed head, he fainted in agony. When he regained consciousness, he ordered that the killer be pierced with a spear and left to die on top of it outside the city limits. As the soldiers took Brhaspati to be killed, he requested them to wait for some time before they pierced him with the spear. He offered them a lot of money. They said, why not? He is only asking for time. By this time, the 2.5 hours had passed. The prince and his friend came back home riding. The confusion was cleared. The king apologized to Brhaspati and Brhaspati explained to him what had happened. They opened the bag again and there were only 2 melons in it. Shani Bhagavan came and asked Brhaspati how it went, the 2.5 hours. Brhaspati said, you destroyed me in 2.5 hours. What would you have done to me if I had allowed you 7.5 years? Brhaspati said, I am the greatest among planets. However, I am going to confer that rank upon you now. Shani Bhagavan said, Gurudev, you are proud about your greatness. Pride catches my attention and I don't spare those who are proud and arrogant. Everybody has to undergo trouble as and when Shani Bhagavan's period comes. But those who are arrogant and consider themselves to be above all suffer one of the greatest falls. See, Shani Bhagavan did not spare even his own guru. Once, Shani Bhagavan went to visit Lord Shiva at Kailasa. Shiva got worried. What is he coming for? Shiva said, how can you come unannounced like this? Shani Bhagavan said, okay, I'll come back tomorrow. Next day, when Shani Bhagavan went again, Lord Shiva had gone hiding. Shani Bhagavan became happy. The whole world trembles at the anger of Shiva and he has gone hiding from me. Lord Rama's Vanavasa, Sita's abduction, they all happened when they were under the influence of Shani Bhagavan. Ravana once captured all the Navagrahas and tied them under his throne. He would sit and walk above them. Narada went and asked Shani Bhagavan, You say that you are very powerful and you are tied up here, helpless. It looks like you can't do anything with brave people like Ravana. You only trouble the weak. Shani Bhagavan said, I am tied here face down. Give me one chance to look at Ravana and see what happens. So Narada went and told Ravana, why have you kept all these planets tied face down? There is no fun walking over their backs. You should turn them up and walk over their bodies. That is befitting of a brave man like you. So Ravana turned all of them up. One look at Ravana's face and Shani Bhagavan devastated his entire clan within 6 months. Raja Harishchandra had to sell his wife and become a slave when he came under the influence of Shani Bhagavan. King Nala got cursed by Kaushika Maharshi and suffered a lot along with his wife Damayanti. That was also under the influence of Shani Bhagavan. Indra lost his moral judgment and got cursed by Rishi Gautama. Chandra committed a grave sin by getting into an affair with his guru's wife and got the permanent black mark on himself called the Kalanka. This was also during Shani Bhagavan's period. Vasishtha lost his 100 sons during Shani Bhagavan's period. Pandavas lost everything when they came under the influence of Shani Bhagavan. Not only Pandavas, even the Kauravas' downfall was because of him. Even Bhagavan Krishna came to be called a thief when Samantakamani went missing. He was under Shani Bhagavan's influence. Bhagavan Krishna admitted and told Shani Bhagavan that he was the greatest among planets. Shani Bhagavan was telling all this to Vikramaditya. Vikramaditya prostrated before him and said, now give me that boon, that you will not trouble anyone anymore. Bhagavan said, I can only give you one boon. Those who read, listen or help to preserve this story by spreading it, I will protect them day and night. Those who read or listen to this story at least on Saturdays, I will not harm them in any way. They will also have all kinds of fortune. Shani Bhagavan then blessed Vikramaditya and disappeared. Chandrasena gave Vikramaditya his daughter Padmasena in marriage. Then they all went to the room where Vikramaditya was sleeping and found the necklace in the swan's painting. They were all surprised at how all this happened. Vikramaditya married the merchant's daughter also. Then they all asked him who he really was. He revealed that he was the king of Ujjain. Due to bad position of planets in the horoscope, he insulted Shani Bhagavan and had to undergo all these sufferings. After a month, Vikramaditya returned to Ujjain with the new brides and a lot of gifts from Chandrasena and the merchant. He became humble and constantly worshipped Shani Bhagavan. The people of Ujjain also became very happy to have their king back. With the blessings of Shani Bhagavan, Vikramaditya delivered his duties as a king very well and his kingdom became happy and prosperous. Shanaishcharaya Namaha.